Hi there, Snapflash fam! Today we're taking you straight to New York, where African tech is making waves at the Unstoppable Africa Summit. Strive Masiyiwa, founder of Econet Global and Cassava Technologies, alongside CEO Oswald Jumira, is showing how Africa is building its own digital infrastructure and staking its claim in the global AI race. Here's the big reveal. Africa had only 80 AI GPUs before. Now, Masiyiwa and his team are installing 12,000 GPUs across 5 regional centers, essentially building the continent's first AI factories. This is not just tech talk. It's a blueprint for jobs, startups, and economic transformation. Before we dive in, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you stay ahead of Africa's tech revolution. Masiyiwa's Cassava Technologies, through its Liquid C2 division, has been laying fiber across Africa for over 120,000 kilometers, connecting east to west. This continental network underpins everything from internet access to cloud computing, AI factories and data centers. Africa is now ready to host hyperscale data centers, supporting Google, Microsoft, AWS, and now AI model training. Masiyiwa calls these AI factories, where raw data goes in and intelligence comes out, powering business efficiencies, new products and solutions tailored for African challenges. GPU deployment. In partnership with NVIDIA, 5 regional centers are being established to house 12,000 GPUs. The first center goes live in Cape Town this November, with additional hubs planned in Nairobi, Cairo, Nigeria, and Morocco. These GPUs are critical for AI training, fine-tuning, and inferencing across the continent, supporting startups and governments. Over 20,000 African developers and startups are already active globally. With this infrastructure, they can now build and scale their solutions locally.
Chairman, there's an analogy you keep talking about railway lines and the fact that you are plumbing Africa. Can you take us through that journey as you speak about AI compute?
No, thank you so much. Oswald has been with me all his professional career. He's an incredible engineer, and he heads our cloud computing and cybersecurity group, which we call Liquid C2. And he's one of a team of engineers who over the last 7 years at least have been working in Cassava Technologies on AI. So for us, AI hit our sweet spot as a company because we build digital infrastructure in Africa. For the last 20 plus years, we've been the one technology group that split away from the telecom sector to focus on digital infrastructure. So this is not about our telecommunications business, Econet. It's about our digital infrastructure group, which we call Cassava Technologies, which includes Liquid. What they do is they began by building fiber, Oswald. We laid fiber across the African continent, interconnecting Africa from east to west. We laid over 120,000 kilometers of fiber connecting countries to one another. It is one of the most ambitious projects undertaken across a continent. We're the only people who can really say we have a continental network. No one else says it for their continent. But it was possible because of the incredible support of African governments in seeing the vision and in supporting it. And of course, our investment partners, because it's cost a couple of $2 billion for us to do that. But as we evolved with that, we were the first people to recognize as the data was flowing through our pipes, we were calling it plumbing the African continent. We also realized that data storage was coming in the form of data centers. So about 15 years ago, we started to invest in data centers. So we're not new to the data center business. And we started to put in these what they call hyperscale facilities to support the likes of Google, Microsoft, AWS, these big tech companies as they came to put their services on the African continent. So you deal with us on a day-to-day basis through your providers. But of course then AI, we saw the sweet spot of AI as being that the training of these models and what they call the inferencing, as it comes to Africa, we would have an opportunity to host these activities within our data centers. But of course, it would require a completely new kind of data center. So that is what we've been developing.
Thank you very much, sir. I think just to also add, it's been a journey for us. And the guys who joined us in Kigali a couple of months ago, where we announced Cassava AI, I think the vision that you see in the map at the back here tries to elaborate what it is that we are building. The AI factories is the new term that we're going to learn as time goes on. Every other factory that we see today, it has raw materials that come into the factory and we've got products coming out. The question out there is, what is an AI factory? An AI factory is a factory where data comes into the factory. This is structured data, unstructured data, and the output is intelligence. And what do we use the intelligence for? The intelligence that we get out of the AI factory is the one that drives business efficiencies, productivity, and we create products. So as we go on this journey, we're taking all of us along. And ever since we announced in April in Kigali, we have managed to set up most of the infrastructure, and we've got a go-live date in November where the whole of Africa is going to be able to access this infrastructure. We've been working with startups, some of them like Awari who are in the room, Kuala who are in the room, Bambo AI. So we are supporting the tech ecosystem across the continent. This infrastructure is for the continent. But I just want to take it back again to my chairman here. And let's talk a little bit about how we have built this leveraging on other partners on the continent and globally and where we are right now. I'll hand it over to you, sir.
Sure, thanks. Thanks, Oswald. Well, look, what we announced, as you will recall, we made the announcement that we had signed an agreement with NVIDIA, the US tech giant, to build 5 regional centers and install GPUs. Now, GPUs, as many of you know, is really the fundamental building block in processing artificial intelligence. And NVIDIA are the world's most valuable company right now at $4 trillion because of their having this unique product called the GPU, Graphic Processing Unit. Right now, before our project, Africa had only 80 GPUs. We signed an agreement with NVIDIA for 12,000 to be installed in 5 regional centers, which act as the focal nodes for the whole continent.
Governments and enterprises will also benefit through AI-driven improvements in health, agriculture, education, and financial services. Skills and education. Masiyiwa stresses the urgency of education in math and science, AI literacy for young Africans, and training 10 million people in AI skills over the next 5 years. The vision: turn Africa from a consumer of technology into a creator of it.
Now AI is here. We cannot be users, consumers, and hope to go to the future on that basis. Yes, it's great that you're downloading ChatGPT and so forth. I have no problem with that. But I want you to be downloading the platforms that our young people are going to create because we open doors for them. Yes, the infrastructure is one thing, but we need to make sure that we open up access to finance, access to skills. The most important thing for me on AI, the most important urgency right now is where I started when I was talking about that Chinese mandate and why it troubled me and challenged me at the same time. We cannot do anything if we don't get our education right. Our education needs to pivot to maths and science. That's not to say we don't do all the other stuff, but we will not be at the table if we do not produce more kids that are driving through on maths and science. So please promise me that you will focus on maths and science, because that's what China and India are doing so well ahead of us. Okay? We can do that. Then I would add that we got to skill up. Okay? We need to train at least 10 million young people over the next 5 years in AI skills. AI has got to be a literacy in of its own. So AI literacy is fundamental for everyone. So that's where I would say, if we do those things, we absolutely will be unstoppable.
Here's a question for you. With Africa now building its own AI infrastructure, how quickly can the continent leverage it to close the technology gap with the rest of the world? Share your thoughts in the comments. If this inspires you, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell to follow Africa's AI journey in real time. Strive Masiyiwa's message is clear. Africa cannot just be a user of AI, it must be a creator. With infrastructure, skills, and vision, the continent could see its GDP leap by trillions over the next decade. Africa is unstoppable, but action is key. Thanks for watching Snap Flash. Keep questioning, stay informed.